Welcome to your weekday cup of the word. We're in Luke chapter 2 and it is Friday. Luke chapter 2 will give us the actual birth of Jesus. It will cover the events of Jesus being born there in Bethlehem. It will talk about the shepherds and the shepherds coming and the message that they received that a Messiah had been born. See, the whole Jewish world had been waiting for a Savior, and now they're hearing the Savior has come. He's come, He's here in Bethlehem. These are events that would have spread throughout the nation of Israel and would have been remembered for years to come. And then it will talk about Jesus being presented at the temple in Jerusalem. After 8 days, when a child was named, they were to be presented at the temple and a sacrifice was to be made. And it's interesting, the sacrifice that Mary will make is 2 pigeons. If you go back to Leviticus chapter 12 and verse 8, when you look at the actual law as to why she gave those, one of the details that you find out is that she was to either give a lamb, or if she couldn't afford it, the sacrifice was to be 2 pigeons. Well, they couldn't afford it. We get to find out the detail that Jesus was born to a very poor family. And so there on Jesus' day of circumcision, he was there at the temple. And there are 2 people there. Simeon, who was a man who had been told by God that he wouldn't die until he saw the Messiah come. And he's going to see Jesus with his own eyes and proclaim to everybody, this is the Messiah. And another person, Anna, a prophetess, who lived her whole life as a widow right there at the temple, serving and fasting and being about the work there. And she's going to come up and tell everybody the same thing. Look, redemption has come. God has sent a Savior. Now, from there, it's going to skip to Jesus being 12 years old. It's going to say they went back to Galilee. Well, it's going to skip a lot of details that other Gospels cover. It's not going to talk about Herod killing the 2-year-olds. It's not going to talk about the wise men traveling from the east. It's not going to talk about them departing and going to Egypt. It's going to just jump all the way to them moving from Egypt back to Galilee, where they lived, which was the territory that they were actually from. And then you're going to have a story of Jesus at age 12. At age 12, they went to the temple, which was a regular thing to go to Jerusalem for the different feasts. And Jesus gets left behind. It was a large entourage, and they left. They thought they had him. They didn't. And in a panic, Mom and Dad go back. And Jesus is going to say an interesting thing to them there at age 12. He's going to say, didn't you know I would be about my Father's business? It's hard to say how much Jesus knew of the mission that God had for him at that age. But we do know at that point he already identifies himself as saying, God is my Father, and I must be about his work. And Luke chapter 2 finishes with saying, Jesus continued to increase in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and with men. This 12-year-old would grow up to be a 30-year-old who would change the world forever. That's Luke chapter 2. That's your Daily Cup, and we'll see you next week.